It is almost summertime and we are so excited to switch into our summer season for homeschool. So today we're going to chat about what my homeschool is going to look like for the summer, and you might be surprised by what I decided to do, and let's get into it. Hello, if we haven't met yet. Hey there, I'm Ashley. I am here at Joyful Noise Learning. Welcome to my channel. I love to chat about Charlotte Mason inspired homeschool and share about all the tips that I've been learning as a homeschool mom for the last 8 years. Also, if you don't know, I have 3 kiddos. They are ages 6, 9, and 11 currently, and we are ending our, like I said, 8th year in homeschool, and we're coming into the summertime. So I want to share with you the plans that I have for our summer homeschool. Also, I've got to say thank you so much to Rachel from 7 and All, one of my good friends here on YouTube. She invited me to share with some other homeschool moms our summer plans. You can check out the playlist in the description below with the other videos there, and you got to go check out Rachel. I'm so encouraged by Rachel's videos every single time, like no doubt. She's a 2nd generation homeschooler. She is also a gifted student, so she shares a lot about homeschooling your gifted children, and I've learned so much from her channel, so you definitely want to go check her out. Okay, so I know a lot of people, when they talk about summer plans, some people say, oh, are you a year-round homeschooler? Do you homeschool year-round, or do you take a break? So I do want to talk about that really quick. So in the past, I've considered myself a year-round homeschooler. And what that means is that you don't necessarily take a really big summer break. You know how a traditional public school, they school from, the middle of August to the end of May in general. And then they take June, July, and part of August off for a summer break. And I found that when my kids were little, that was never beneficial for us. Mainly because, when you have a 6-year-old or a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, those kids really thrive on routine. So it's not like we did full on school all the time, you know what I mean? But we just kept our school routine all throughout the summer. We maybe took a couple weeks off here, a couple weeks off there, depending on our schedule and what was going on with swimming lessons and trips and whatever else was going on in the summer. So we kept a good routine, but we were also still flexible all throughout the school year. I did discover I like to take breaks throughout the school year, so I'm not like a start September 1st and go to May 2nd kind of homeschool mom where we just plow through. I could never do that. I like to take breaks throughout the year. So summer is no exception, but we do usually start in July-ish, and then we take part of September off because the weather where we live in September is beautiful. We school through part of the summer and then we take a break in the fall. So that's kind of how I do it. But this year, and I did this last year, we are also going to take most of June off. And at least 6 weeks is what I'm thinking. Because I'm noticing now that my kids are a little bit older, they're in, my olders are going to be upper elementary and middle school, and my younger is still early elementary kiddo, but I notice we really need a break. We're not ready to continue plowing forward. We're gonna stop at the end of May, and then we're gonna take most of June and part of July off. I'll show you in a second what we are gonna do to keep up with learning and a routine still, because like I said, I think kids need good routine, but we also need time to just have space, space to create and sleep in or stay up late, that kind of stuff that usually comes with summer. My view and philosophy on our homeschooling schedule has changed just a little bit. Here we are. Let's talk about what we're doing this summer. So by the way, I created a printable, and you guys can have one of these. So I made a summer routines printable, and I made a summer bucket list printable that you can download in the description if you would like them. I love these pretty colors, and I love the little watermelon. Isn't that cute? So I'll talk about each of these sheets and what they mean and how it's going to work for us and for our summer. All right, please excuse my messy table, but this is real life here. And here we go. So this is my summer routine sheet, and I wanted to have things that we do during the day that happen at each different part of the day in general. So there's no specific time for these, but these are the things that I want to happen, and I call them my anchors. So we have our morning anchors, we have our afternoon anchors, and then our evening anchors. Again, with these, it's super flexible. If we want to have a play day, or we want to go to the beach, or we want to have a movie marathon because it's super hot outside. I don't know, So all these things are flexible and can be moved around. They're just big blocks and chunks of time, but we have anchors in the day that kind of keep us on track. And so we get things done that we know are important to us. And then on the other side, we have our list of chores here that I thought through that I want my kids to be doing throughout the day to keep our house in order. Again, we're super flexible with these, but this is just a nice visual to have so they know what needs to be done on a regular basis. So our morning anchors that we're going to do, we're going to keep up with our morning jobs, and that's like our morning chores where they take care of themselves. They help clean the kitchen. We get ourselves breakfast. We unload the dishes, take out trash, all those things. So that's our morning jobs, and we'll eat our breakfast. Again, there's no specific time, but at least we know that's what's happening in the morning. I do want to continue Bible time together. I have some really cool stuff I was thinking of doing. Speaking of Rachel, she has a curriculum that is how the Bible was made. So I've already planned on doing that throughout this summer. So I'm super excited to be using that. The other thing I was inspired by This Pilgrim Life, Lisa from This Pilgrim Life, is to do journal time on Friday, and that will be a little bit of writing that we'll be doing. Or may not be Fridays, but once a week. I'll say once a week. So they will write about something that we did that week, or something that they want to remember, or something that they had a lot of fun with. So we'll have our journal time once a week. And then they have daily chores. That's anything that we haven't finished here. We'll probably do our yard work in the mornings, and lots of free play, crafting, and play dates. Those are our morning anchors. So then we come to the afternoon. Obviously, lunch has got to happen in the afternoon, right? The kids are going to get hungry. They're going to want lunch. We got to still feed them. Even though it's summer, they got to still eat, right? And then we've got math lessons. I'm going to have my kids, mostly my older two. My youngest, I will just kind of roll with it. But my older two kids, they're going to be 4th and 6th grade. I want them to continue their math curriculum that they've been doing. So because they have not finished it from this previous year. And I think it would be good to keep them just in the mindset of doing it and not get off. Because I feel like math is the one subject that if you do not do it, you just kind of forget if you're not in the practice of doing it. So we're going to continue math lessons most weekdays, not every day, but most weekdays. I want them to continue practicing their music. They all have musical instruments that they do. So again, nothing super structured, but just, hey, play around on your instrument and have some fun with that for 15 minutes. My boys also do karate. I don't want them to lose that either. So I want them to continue to practice their karate for like 15 minutes. And then they've definitely got to do their quiet time reading for 30 minutes. And we do that all year round. That's every day, all week. And that is just a nice anchor that we have, and it keeps them reading. And this will be a good time, especially in the summer, for them to read what they want to read. So they'll get choices. They won't be like school books anymore, but they will be able to choose what they're reading throughout the summer. We'll probably do our library's summer reading program. So that would be a good time for them to get those books done. And then after all that, we'll probably want a snack. Again, they've got to eat, and it's going to happen. And then I have a few things that I want them to do after lunch. And so I wrote down those chores here that I want to make sure that we get done on most weekdays. And then finally, last but not least, we have our evening anchors. So obviously dinner. Again, they want to eat. We'll probably play outside in the evenings. Our neighborhood has tons of kids, and they're just always out in the evenings, and it's just a lot of fun. So my husband and I will probably sit on the porch, and the kids will just run around the neighborhood and do what kids do. Or we'll do the backyard, or we'll see how that goes. And then we want to keep up with either a family read aloud, which we like to do in general, usually, or family movie time, and that's always fun. And then they got to get ready for bed. And then this is what they do, their evening chores after dinner, to make sure that the kitchen gets reset and that mom is not left with everything after everybody goes to bed. So I don't know about you, but I don't want to be there at 10 p.m. at night in a summer night and have to clean the kitchen all by myself. So that's why I set these for my kids. So if you want to watch a video on how we do chores and age-appropriate chores for your kids, I have a couple videos on that, and I will link them in the description below, or you can see it in the iCard up here. Okay, so those are our summer anchors, our summer chores, and that's the basic gist for what we're going to be doing for the summer. So I want to make sure we get reading in, we get math in, we get lots of playtime and exploration in, and we make sure the house is taken care of in general. I've also got to say, I was thinking of my summer plans, like the videos that I did for it over the last couple years, and I always over planned. I always thought, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this curriculum, and we're gonna play. And I looked at my kids this year, and I looked at our life and how the last summers have gone, and I was like, nope, we need to just keep it simple and short and sweet and not try to squeeze too much in, because that's my tendency, is try to squeeze too much in. I don't know, maybe you're like me in that way. So my encouragement to you is don't try to squeeze it all in, just keep it simple. Like think of like 2 things, like so that's what I decided, you know, we have read aloud and math, and then they're like music practice. And those are like the only things I expect from them that have to be done for school stuff. So I'm not gonna try to squeeze in a summer unit study, but if you wanna do summer unit study, go for it, I think that's great. The other thing I wanted to share with you is my summer bucket list page. I haven't done this with my kids just yet, but we're going to do this soon, but I printed off one for each of our family members. And what these have is you can sit down with your family, and it's got 6 little blocks here. So you got, what do I want to eat this summer? So that will help me with meal planning, making sure, you know, we get ice cream and, you know, we get watermelon and like all those summer things that the kids like to do, or they might have something new they want to try that I didn't know they want to try. So what do they want to watch? Is there a movie that has come out soon, or there's something they haven't watched in a while that they want to see? You know, let's have a running movie list. Skills they want to learn. So I know one of my kids likes skateboarding, and that's a good summer activity to have. Places they want to go. We'll try some hiking and a few like day trips. So that's where I want them to write that there. Things they want to do, and then what do they want to read. So if there's anything they're interested in reading or doing or learning, we can all write it down here, and then I can look on their sheet and make sure that, you know, they have a summer that they're interested in, and it's not just a summer planned completely by me. You know, when they were younger, I was able to do that, but now that they're getting older, I'm trying to make sure they have some good input into what happens during our days, what happens in the summer. They're probably gonna wanna go to the beach, and we'll probably go to the beach a few times a week, I'm sure. We love the beach here. It's a lake, it's not the ocean, but it's still fun. So I don't wanna continue with regular school, but I do wanna keep the reading. I wanna do read alouds with them, things like that in math. And I just wanna give us time to just kind of reset and just play together again and not have to focus so hard on getting a checklist done. Like I want to have a good time in between so I can rest from this last school year, and then I can prep for the next school year, because I want to look at that. And I want to do a lot of good planning on the front end this year to make sure that everything goes smoothly and perfectly next year. But I know it's not. I know it's not going to be perfect next year. We always hope it would be, but I know it's not going to be perfect. All right, don't forget, if you would like any of these printables, they are down in the description below. They're free for you. I just need your email address. And let me know in the comments, what are some things you were looking forward to for this summer? Does your family school year round, or do you guys take a break? Or do you do something kind of hybrid like I do? I don't know. I just never want to do the normal. I'm always just like, let's be different. Let's change it up. Oh, don't forget to watch the other videos and Rachel's channel on their summer plans as well. Don't forget that. Hope you have a great day. I will see you in the next video.